Hey everybody, my name is Paul, W1VLF, and welcome back to the lab. Okay, so as we talked about in part 1, today we're going to do some testing. I have 3 positions to test from. One is 125 feet away, the second one is 150 feet away, and the third one is out where I might have my remote antennas about 300 feet away, not really a line of sight. But we'll get out there and see if we can copy it. So we're going to be using the milliwatts that are being transmitted by this, the beacon transmitter you saw yesterday, and just this as a single receiving element. There goes my other camera shutting off. So there'll be no gain in the circuit whatsoever. Before I do, though, I'm going to insert in here a little piece of information. There's a calculator online that will give you the attenuation per meter. So let's go do that, and then, let's not do that. I don't know if you guys can see out the back. This is where we're going to be receiving from, and out by the tractor in the barn is where the transmitter will be, and I'll give you some close-up shots of that and show you where the receiver is as I go out and set it all up. So let me just break away here. We'll just take a quick look at some of the parts. Some of the attenuation losses in a circuit like this. The other thing is at the bottom of I don't know if I did it on this one. Oh, on the bottom of previous video, you can find links to the components. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but let's go take a look at that other stuff, the attenuation loss, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so we're at this site here in the UK, resource.npl.co.uk, and they have a calculator that will give you attenuation in terms of meters. dB per meter at given distances. So let's try and fill this out here, and we'll see what the atmospheric absorption is. So the first thing we're going to enter is our 24,200 hertz, 24.2 kilohertz. The temperature right now is 80 degrees F in Celsius. That's somewhere, is that 27 or 17? It's 27 degrees. I made some notes here. The atmospheric pressure we're going to assume is 1 bar, which is 101 kilopascals. And the relative humidity outside right now is 77%. So our answer will come down here as to what the attenuation is in dB per meter at 24 kilohertz. So it's about 0.448, or let's just call it about a half a dB per meter. So here's the reason why I'm not using 40 kilohertz for this. Let's change the frequency, nothing else, just the frequency up to 40 kilohertz. And let's see what happens with our half dB of attenuation. It goes up to a dB and some change. So it's even more challenging to make any kind of distance using 40 kilohertz. Well, let's just for the heck of it go to 19 kilohertz, which is probably beyond most people's hearing, and we're down to 0.2, or let's go to say 15 kilohertz, keeping all the same parameters. We're down to 0.18. So you can see that there's a huge difference between 24 kilohertz at roughly a half a dB per meter and 40 kilohertz with its 1.2. It's roughly twice as much, or 60-70% more. So let's set these numbers back again. 24,200. Okay, and there's our half a dB per foot. And now we'll just click this box right here, And this box will tell us what the based on distance how much attenuation we have. The atmospheric absorption we've already calculated is dB per meter, is roughly 0.44, 0.45, and the distance we're going to try to attain is 100 meters, and that's going to give us 44 dB of attenuation. And if we go to 200 meters, which is like 650 feet, something like that. Let's click that. We'll be up to 90 dB of attenuation. And I think we can do that. So, but we won't know until we try. I know I can make it to 100 meters with the minuscule amount of power that I'm running right now. But I don't know what's going to happen after that. So I don't know what kind of headroom we have in the circuit. So you'll know when I know, as this is just one big experiment. All right, so there's the page if anybody wanted to go to it and find out what the attenuation is per meter at any given frequency. W1VLF signing out, and we'll catch you back on the other camera. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a quick shot of a way to tell that your sensor is actually transmitting. You can hear the CW in the background. And I've got a little, very thin strip of toilet paper hanging in front of the transmitter. So you can see that we're dealing with very, very low levels of power here. But you definitely can see that the toilet paper strip is moving with the CW. And since you can't hear it acoustically, and you can't see it, I thought I'd throw in this little visual representation here of a way to know that it's actually working. Okay, just a quick shot of what we're doing here. I'm going to zoom in. I think I'm going to zoom in. There's a tractor out there, and we're going to place the transmitter right on top of that ladder. And here is the receiving element that we'll use. I'm going to just open this window and shove that out, and then close the window on it. These things are pretty broad as far as beam width, about plus or minus 30 degrees. Hey Sophie, how you doing? Okay, we're heading out. Transmitter in hand. First we're going to go take a look at the window here and see if we have the sensor in the right spot. The receiver, microphone, whatever you want to call it. Nope, looks like it's way off. So we'll just fidget that around till it's pointing towards the transmitter. Okay, there it is. And this shot goes only a couple of feet above the ground. Okay, here's the transmitter. The ladder that we're going to put it on. Generally aiming towards the house. Let me fire it up. A lot of noise out here. Okay. You can hear that. Okay. All right, I'll spare you the walk inside, but there's the receiver site over there. Okay, so we're back at the computer doing a screen capture, and you can see over here on the left hand side how irregular the signal coming in is. Okay, so here's a CQ. And right now we have the preamp off, and this is at the 125 foot level, or excuse me, distance. And it's very windy outside, very, very windy. And there's lots of trees in the propagation path. So if you look at the characters over here on the left-hand side, there's a couple of good ones. So the signal level is varying all over the place. Plus, there's all sorts of reflections and Doppler shift, and so if I zoom out here, and let's say we go right to, you can hear the Doppler effect raising and lowering the frequency. And you can see it on the screen as well. Now, the receive sensor is only less than a foot above the ground, so a lot of this signal is grazing into the receiver, the microphone. But this will make it to about 20 over S9 when it's really calm, like at night when the wind stops. But you can see all the distortion on the waveform. All right, I'm going to move this out to the 150 foot path, and I'm also going to raise the microphone up a little bit, so I'm a little ways off the ground. So this is the 125 foot path, and this is W1VLF signing off for the moment. Okay, we're at my old satellite dish mount. Let's see. So we're going to put it up on top. Hope it doesn't fall down the pipe. And I think that's generally pointed in the direction. I'll show you, go back to the house, show you what I did to get us. Okay. I'll show you what I did to get us off the ground. Okay, remember this from video 1, that's the parabolic dish, but on the other side of it I just have the bare sensor. So now I'm going to line it up, and we're going to go inside and see what kind of signal we have. Okay, so we're back in, and as you can see, signal strength is peaking about an S9 +1, +2. On a really good peak before, it would have been a little bit higher at the 125 foot mark. So we're out at 150 feet now, and this is more of a line of sight path. I'm above the ground, so it's not as critical. And you can see and probably hear that these are, you know, just look up here at the waveform shape, and you can see that the amplitude is much more consistent on this 150 foot path. So, and again, this is with no gain and minuscule amounts of power. So now I'm going to take the other camera, run outside. We're going to go out to the 300 foot path, which is where my long wave antennas are. It's pretty grown in and weeded, but I think I have a hole through the whole mess where we can shoot through. So going to grab the other camera, and the next audio that you hear on this will be from 300, and it's a little more than, it's maybe 320 feet out. So roughly 100 meters out, And tonight, when it gets calm, all this distortion up here will go away when the wind stops blowing. It's very windy out there right now. Okay, so let me get out in with the other camera and head out to 300 feet. Okay, now we're going to head through the high grass. Man, I'm going to get a couple of ticks, I'm sure. Okay, remember this, guys? Big Lil. Feel bad for her, she's all covered in weeds. Alright, I'm gonna put it right there. Yikes. And I gotta go around the backside and see if it's pointed. Here, let's just see where the dish is. Okay, we're using that sensor, the single sensor, not the dish gain, so that's where that is. Okay guys, this is it, 330 feet. You can still hear the signal in there pretty well, but if you look up at the waveform, it's pretty much distorted. And one thing I noticed from when I was in the woods there with the transmitter is that 2 weeks ago, this was a line of sight path, but now there's some big weeds and stuff that have built up in the middle. I might have to go clear those off. Anyhow, you can still hear the CW, and I think anybody with a good ear or good, could copy it. Yeah. So I think we have some headroom here. My next step is I'm going to go outside, I'm going to grab the dish, and I'm going to spin it around, and we're going to listen to see if we can get any gain out of the dish. So I'm seeing peaks of S4 here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the View tab, and we're going to put on signal history. And let's see. I think what we're going to do is we're going to slow that down so I can go out there. And I'm going to have to listen to this to aim the dish because I cannot see what I'm doing while I'm out there. I have a portable setup, but I don't have this on there. So let's slow this down a bit. Yeah, we're going pretty fast right now, so let's go to slow. Okay. Does that give me enough time to get out there? What's that give me? It gives me roughly 3 minutes. Okay, so what we're seeing here is about an S3 or 4. I'm going to turn on the audio here. I'm going to mute the microphone, and then I'm going to run outside and swing the dish around and see if I can get any additional gain on this path. Here goes. looks like we got some gain out of it. Here's the, what would you say that is? S3, S4. Here's an up to an S7. So we got about 3 S units of gain. And I'm not 100% sure I'm pointed at it. Because I can't see the signal strength and it's varying so much. But definitely there's a signal strength advantage there. So more on this later. I'm going to try to clear out or at least find a long path that has nothing in the way. Oh yeah, look at the signal strength average from here to over here, and I think we gained at least 2 to 3 S units using that little parabolic dish, and there's nothing optimized. Actually, it's not a parabolic dish. It's a it's my wife's wok, the cover for it. So anyway, I guess that about ends this one up. If you guys stuck around, if you could please subscribe for more eclectic things like this. That would be fantastic. It would help my channel along. I have around 2,900 subscribers. So you'll be in good company with people who like weird stuff. Anyway, I think what I'll do next is probably try to get that path cleared up. Yeah, see, we had an S4 before as a peak. Now we're seeing S7s as peaks. I'm going to try to clear that path up a little bit, so I can actually see it from where the receive antenna is. So we know gain works, right? Gain works, and some gain on the other end, and a good unobstructed path. I bet you we could make the 200 yards or 200 meters. And look at the waveforms up here. Look how much cleaner the waveforms are. Well, yeah, make a liar out of me. But I mean, you know, much cleaner and much farther out of the noise. So anyway, this is W1VLF. I'm going to stand by, and this will be the end of part 2. Part 3 will be coming up when we try to push this distance a little bit further. Thanks everybody for sticking around. I appreciate it.